Hello. Hey, this Ben here with Stewed on the Lake. So, we still have some camera issues. I'm using the old lens. It's not clear. Uh, Here's a bird that I did this morning. I was going to do a Christmassy bird, and I did him real quick and just give you a one over the world. And again, I've had some camera issues, so you're not going to get a lot of this one. You're not going to see some feather work that I did. You can see how the camera's a little bit orange. That's because the lens has some kind of a fungus in it. I'll clear that out tomorrow. This bird is pretty much my standard bird. Again, I'm not real fond of him, but I'm going to let you have a look at him anyway. This initial camera lens that I got with my new Canon 70D, I threw it on there and it will not focus. So how do you get there? You start off with a piece of basswood, and that's my standard one that I did probably 25, 30 years ago, maybe even 40 years ago. Little bird that I use as a pattern. So not a lot in here. There's some real good baby bird tutorials. I'm using a Cuckoo in my Oz 2 Plus there. Just carved Rob. I noticed you got one over there. Hey, a 3/32 collet. All the collets are the same between the hand pieces, basically. Yeah, but you went ahead and ordered the 1/8" collet. I always run the 3/32 in this because a lot of the sabers come in 3/32, and then in my iCube, I run 1/8" over there. May or may not help. So I'll probably do one more video before Christmas. I got to get the Christmas stuff going, get it out. And like I said, I carved this bird real quick. I don't really, I'm not real fond of this guy. But it's good to get back in, and I did carve him in about 2 hours, so didn't take a whole lot of time out there. Now you can see the dust blowing around there. I've got a little fan that sits just off to my left there, and here is a jeweler's coping saw or a jeweler saw. This is a German made one, and it just has a small piece of bandsaw blade that I broke I don't know, 1/8" or 16" bandsaw blade that I broke. I kept all the pieces to it, and I use it in this little jeweler saw. So I'm just cutting out the excess underneath the tail. Saves me a whole lot of grinding time and a lot of dust. As I stated, you're not going to get a whole lot out of this poor thing because of the way the camera was filming, and I was just concerned about getting the piece out there and done. That's a ruby bit in there. I'm not a big fan of. I think if you want to put a ribbon on a bird carving, you put a real ribbon on the bird carving, and that sort of thing. So I probably shouldn't have done this, but I had a wild idea, and I wanted to see what it looked like. And sure enough, I'm not real fond of it. Hey, Jordy, I've seen your last couple of videos. I'm digging the owls, man, and the stuff in the background. I'm looking forward to see what everybody does over at Sticks and Stones Carving. Sounds like Kevin's got 9, 10 prizes in there, and that'll be pretty awesome. And hey, Kevin, thanks a lot for doing that for Jordy this year. That's kind of neat, and I hope we keep, as a carving community, keep that stuff going. So I'm marking in the eyes. I got a set of eyes here, and somewhere I lost between the house and the stuga. I lost a package of eyes and probably $100 worth of eyes. I've got to find them. They're just little bitty brown ones. I think 4 or 5 millimeter. But fortunately, I've got some other ones out there. So I'll mark out the flow. This is kind of where I want to go with it. And I'm putting in the little red scarf. I will not do that again. I don't like that, as I stated earlier. There's a bunch of eyes. There's a big loon eyes in the middle. Some red ones, medium-sized ones for smaller loons. And then these are a little large. I think these are 6 millimeter. So they're a little bit bigger, but they work fine. I don't know what these cost. Probably $4 or $5 a piece, if I were to make a guess for the set. There, I'm just cutting the eye socket in. And I noticed when I got done messing around with this guy, the eyes are a little bit wonky. I kind of like that to some degree, but you should try to get him in there straight. There's a push pin method. Not much education going on this one. You're not going to learn a whole lot from this. Like, there are videos back in the back, baby cuckoos and that sort of thing, where I actually like the bird, and I go through all the feather detail and all the rest of the stuff. And you can see I'm filming out of frame the whole 9 yards. So I'm back to amateur mistakes here, and I have to get my act together and get it going. So I've got a round diamond burr in there, and I just kind of set that socket in just a hair. This is quickwood stuff. Used to be really hard to get a hold of. I've set eyes with it for years and years, as well have done minor repairs. You used to have to go to a carving supply house to get this. Now you can pick this up, like our local grocery store up here in the Northwoods has a section on hardware, and this stuff is hanging on the rack next to the super glue and that sort of stuff. So how cool is that? And there's my old knife. You can see I'm just pressing that eye in. This, for some reason, with the studio and the heat, and it's not really that hot in here, this stuff set up really fast. I mean, I'm talking like 3 minutes. That's not normally the case. So I like to get the eyes in on these, and at that point I can tell if it's going to work or not going to work. And you can actually pop these eyes out even after you set them and save them, put them in another carving. But this one turned out to be fine. I got through to the intent that I was going to do. I think next year I'm going to do a complete Christmas diorama with a gnome. And we'll see what goes on, obviously, through the year. But I'll talk with Jordy and the rest of these guys, Just Carve Rob and Kevin and everybody out there. And we'll see what kind of challenge we can come up with for next year. And we'll put it out a little bit earlier. So not much to see here. I didn't go ahead and zoom this in because it just was kind of off with the camera. I'm generally fairly pleased with the outcome of the camera work. Here's that ribbon going in. And it just looks goofy, but we'll live with it. As Jordy would say, carry on, carry on. Test 1 2, test 1 2. Okay, let's see if we're recording, because something happened in the middle there. I'm hoping we are. I did lose my microphone, and hopefully this goes ahead and does the record portion of it. All right, I did this really quick. I don't like the way the ribbon cuts in there. It's just kind of cheesy and goofy to me. And to me, it kind of ruins the bird. And I went ahead and finished him fairly quickly just to give the concept out. I didn't spend a whole lot of time on the feathers. I didn't film any of the feathers. Well, maybe a little bit of it. So, there you go. Rough filmed. I put a little bit of shellac on him. I put some snow on him. I do not like him. I went ahead and took I've already ground the white paint off there, but I won't show you that. He's kind of got a little bit of an attitude, so I like what he's doing. I'm happy with him. So thanks a lot. This has been Ben with Stu on the Lake. Like, comment, and if you haven't subscribed, by all means do so. Thanks again.